Hey guys, what's up? It's TrapGoku, YouTube's favorite Super Saiyan, coming at you with another video. Today's video is all about Dauntless, my thoughts and my impressions on the game. I'm just going to be basically speaking over my experiences. Now, initially, Dauntless dropped on the PlayStation 4 on May 21st, 2019 by Epic Games. If you guys don't know, Epic Games are the same people who made the Fortnite game, another very successful game, but it seems like Epic's trying to really make a push and make, Dauntless another flagship that can stand on the same platform as Fortnite. Honestly, I'm going to be giving my thoughts and opinions over the PlayStation 4 version. I know there was a PC version that's been out a little bit longer, but I didn't play that version. Also, I'm only going to be speaking on the initial game's release because I only played it for about a week after the game dropped. I didn't play it for I played it for about 2 weeks after the game dropped before I decided to move on to other things. But here are my initial thoughts and opinions on Dauntless, Epic Games' newest flagship title. Now, Dauntless, to give you a little concept of what Dauntless is, Dauntless opens itself up as a giant Monster Hunter style game. Very bit more streamlined, as the collection aspect and leveling and grinding aspects have been very much streamlined and simplified. Basically, you go find monster, you kill monster, use the monster's items to get stronger stuff, and so on and so forth. It's very streamlined and simplified so that any player can get into it, which is like a blessing and a curse in itself. The reason being is because while it is streamlined, a lot of players will be able to find it more accessible. A lot of the more hardcore players are going to get bored very easily and or not find really any satisfaction to achieving those higher armor sets. And this is the reason I say that. Dauntless, while it is a very fun game, and it is a very, very fun game, especially when you play with friends, the overall feel I get from Dauntless is there's no satisfaction when you get to those higher levels. There's satisfaction when you kill monsters, and that's one of the biggest aspects I love about it, is the monster hunting aspect. The monsters are unique, they're colorful, and they're vibrant, and they also have their own little mechanics to them. Like, for example, monsters can go into an enraged mode where their patterns change up and they hit much harder and can do more critical damage. They can also, when they're injured, they can also switch up their patterns as well as play a more defensive style for some monsters. And some monsters, they get pushed into the corner and they just start going ham and start doing all types of different patterns and stray attacks. The weapons were also pretty cool in Dauntless. I'm not gonna lie, I love the weapons. The weapons and the armor sets did look very cool. I love the Hellblaze sword, I think it's called. I think that's what it's called. You can equip 2 attack slots on it. It's pretty good. I recommend that highly. And everything about aesthetic wise, I like the game. But like I said earlier, there's no real satisfaction once you start getting into those higher armor sets and start getting into those higher boss fights. Yes, it is fun to find your friends and fight alongside them, but after a while, it's just pointless grinding. And there's not a story to go with it, and that's kind of another thing that kind of got me a little irritated. You see, when you start Dauntless and you get into the game, there's this huge cutscene kind of setting your character up as this epic hero who's gonna try and defend the town from monsters, and you have all these unique NPCs. However, beyond that initial cutscene in the beginning, the story is never really touched up on again, ever. I mean, you might get a couple characters make a reference to it throughout your adventures, but really it's talking to NPCs is just hey, did you do this on this checklist? If you did it, then here's this, or here's a rank, or yeah, thanks for completing the checklist, here you go. There's no real gratification, there's no real satisfaction in doing all this, and it kind of brings the point of, is it okay to streamline popular games? For example, let's be real, Dauntless is a very streamlined and simplified Monster Hunter, and I feel like when you streamline games, you take away that satisfaction. Look at Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter doesn't have the ability for you to just automatically start hitting a monster in its tail or whatever, or in its soft spot while you're automatically hitting it as well, which allows you to stack that damage and allows you to get to your monster parts quicker. In Monster Hunter, you have to literally hit that part, and then you have to go cut it open and do your thing. Also, you have to literally track the monster which can be a little bit more fun and engaging than this game, which kind of just a lot of times, and just to be honest with you, spawns the monster within like, I guess, a short little jump and walk from where you actually spawned in. Very randomly was it actually a difficulty finding the monster, or I had to use any real tracking methods, and that was another thing that was kind of like, didn't really care for that. There also aren't any real traps in this game too, so like when you fight unique or harder monsters, you can call in like airstrikes and stuff, but it's not the same as like, sticking your enemy into like a net, or sticky webs of that kind. All in all, Dauntless, there's fun to be had with it, but I feel like there's a lot of things that just aren't there. And a lot of that kind of falls content wise, because like I said, I'm not going to judge this game basing it on other online games that's out, because like I said, it just came out. I just played it for thoughts and impressions. It's a free game, and like I said, it's its own little MMORPG kind of thing. There's a lot more content I'm pretty sure the developers are planning to add. But like I said, they need to really kind of like make it more rewarding for players to get these higher levels, because in games like this where grinding is the only thing you have to look forward to every time you log in, you really have to make sure that the player base is supported and that there are rewards for grinding. That's why a lot of people quit a lot of online MMORPGs, because there's just no real rewards. You don't really feel like the savage boss that you are. Now, I have seen some people, online who can like solo monsters and do that. But that's more based off of their skills, not really just their stronger armor sets. So that's something to keep in mind as well. One more thing I wanted to talk about was the friend request system on here. Finding a friend on Dauntless is a little bit more difficult, because you have to use the in-game epic little thing to find them. So you can't actually just like, there's not literally a little finder window like in like Overwatch, or like your social profile in a lot of other games where you can just connect to friends you're already friends with on the PlayStation Store. I feel like that's something that needs to be looked into, because it was like I literally had to pull up a YouTube video on how to add my friend, one of my roommates, just so we could play. But like I said, Dauntless is a fun game if you're looking to just kill some time, some mindless monster killing. Yeah, if you want to just kill. Also, one thing I want to say about Dauntless going into mindless monster killing before I close everything up, there aren't any wild animals running around Dauntless, and the game is beautiful. Like, aesthetic wise, like I said earlier, the game looks freaking amazing. However, there aren't any like monsters for you to kill, like side monsters or anything. It's like there's this open area, and it's just you with 3 other players and a boss monster. That's it. It's not really used other than collecting, and I feel like if you use the environment or you use other types of special monsters or minion type monsters, it can make the combat that much more experiencingly fun for everyone. I mean, because now we can have to implement different team strategies and things like that, and team combos. And that's another thing I think Dauntless is missing is, if we're going to play as a team, we need more stuff that makes us feel like a team. We need to be able to buff each other. And, I feel like if Dauntless kind of had some type of like defined class system within their weapons that gives special perks and buffs to not only themselves but passive members, that'd be cool too. It'd help with, and like I said, it would bring more strategy, bring more satisfaction, bring more, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Fun to this game, for a lack of better words. I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like what Dauntless is trying to put on is fun, and it is fun to a very like, I think, high degree, or decent degree of fun. But I don't feel like, in my opinion of the game, this is long lasting fun, even though it's set up to have infinite playability, or infinite time that can be spent on a game. Doesn't necessarily equate to the game being fun once you start getting more and more into it. And I feel like with Dauntless, what you see, even though it is fun, even though it is beautiful, even though it is sprawling with like monsters that you can hunt, even though the monsters are saying there's only one monster per stage, it's still a fun experience to hunt those monsters. But going back to what I was saying, if you want to increase the fun, I think all the concepts I talked about in this video should be implemented. Like I said, Dauntless is a decent game. It's a fun game, but it can be way more funner way better if, you know what I'm saying, like I said, developers implement more content, more satisfying, you know what I'm saying, ways to kill enemies, or more satisfaction and, you know, or rewards, and actually grinding these long phases out. And, you know, maybe just a little bit more attention to the story. Don't give me these cool NPCs and not really do anything with them. That's really where like a lot of like irritation comes in, because I feel like with Dauntless you have this big world but you kind of don't really do nothing with it. It's kind of But like I said, with Dauntless, my last thing I want to leave you guys with: what you see is what you get. I wouldn't say go in expecting this grandiose adventure like you might expect from other games, but, you know, go in expecting an online, you know what I'm saying, environment which is surprisingly friendly. Like I said, I hope you guys have enjoyed this, you know, thoughts and impressions video, and I hope, you know what I'm saying, I made somebody's day, or, you know, somebody's been enlightened by this. And like I said, Dauntless is free to play on the PlayStation 4 network right now. You can go in and download it. I think it's also free on Xbox One and PC. So go ahead and give it a try if you haven't already. It's down by, like I said, published by Epic Games. And, you know, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. You know, like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps my channel grow. You know, and, you know, be sure to share the video if you want to on other social platforms. Also, if you want to help me keep my lights on with Patreon, feel free. The links to all that descriptions will be in the window down below. Also, I'll have my Twitch link in there as well. I'll be streaming. I'll try to stream every Thursday and Saturday and Sundays for you guys, and before I get a defined Twitch streaming schedule. Also, I'll be streaming on YouTube pretty much every day. I'll try to make sure I tweet out when that will be out. And my Twitter should be set up by the next video. I hope you guys having a wonderful day. Take it easy.